Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my first ever book event. Anyway, if you heard screaming the week leading up to it, it was me. Doesn't matter where in the world we were, it was definitely me. Now almost 3 years ago, well, one is actually 3 years, one is 2.5 at this point, I published 2 books. My first ever self-published book that I did was Reignite Me. It is a book of poetry about love, relationships, hookups, heartache, etc. And then in the fall of the same year, both are 2022, I published The Gift, which is a short little Christmas romance book. So if you know me, you know that I am bad at marketing myself. I am really bad. I'm like, I don't want to push myself onto anybody. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, I have to go buy her book. Like, no, I hate that. I hate advertising it. I hate talking about it. Like, even though I'm so excited to be an author and have books out, I hate talking about my books. It's like, it's fine. I feel like I burden people with it. So I just don't. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, you kind of have to just get over it and do it, because otherwise you're never going to get it out there. Besides people listening to you ramble on this channel, like, it's not going to happen. So I signed up for the Maine Book and Print Fest I signed up in the spring and participated this past weekend. So it was a wonderful experience. I'm going to hop in to the vlogs that I got, let that kind of take you through a little bit of it, and then I'll pop back in and talk afterwards. It smells like paint in here. Hi, welcome to the video. Welcome back. I don't know, I've forgotten how to vlog. It's fine. I don't want to put my phone on my little hook because it keeps tipping over. I need to figure out how to like tighten it so it won't. Oh, maybe that. Okay, we back. The car's on because it was getting a little hot, not gonna lie. I think I got it. There was a dial in the back that I didn't see before, I guess. So it's fine. I know how to vlog. No, I don't. Whatever. Anyway, so it is my first book event. It is Friday right now, and I obviously am packed because I have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to. So I wanted to have everything packed, and I'm going to my aunt's tonight. I was going to go to my aunt's tonight anyway and stay there, but I had to have everything packed last night for today. So we're going to drive down to the doctor's, and then I have a very small list of things that I still have to pick up. So I'm going to take you guys with me for that today, because if I know me, I know that I will probably get a little overwhelmed at the event and completely forget to vlog in some points. This is my first book event. This is my first ever like craft fair like this. I did fundraising stuff in high school, which was over 10 years ago, where we did run like a booth, but that was always with a lot of other people. There was always a bunch of us. And so this is going to be a little bit different. Of Saturday, it's going to be me and my aunt. My dad's going to help us set up, and then he's going to come back up here, do a few things, and then Sunday he's going to come back down to, I think, help set up, and then he and my aunt are going back to her place to do some like yard work and stuff that she needs his help for. And then they're going to come help me take down Sunday. So Sunday I'm going to be by myself. Saturday I'll have my aunt with me. That's the way I wanted things, so I wouldn't be alone my first ever day. I was like, if I can do it Saturday, I'll probably be fine to do it Sunday. So that's how the weekend's going to go. I hope you guys enjoy this vlog of this. It's not like here's some tips and tricks. It's Nova's panicking going into her first ever event, and you guys get to come with me for it. Isn't that great? I'm so nice, aren't I? Anyways, we're gonna get going because I'm actually a little late to get on the road. I usually give myself like an hour, but I really have to get going now at this point. So we're gonna hop on the road. We're gonna go to the doctor's appointment, and then I'll pop back in with some gathering last minute supplies. So I will see you then. we're about to leave. Saturday was the first day of the book event, and I was like so excited. We got there, we checked in, well, I checked in, my dad and my aunt prepped stuff to set up, and we got everything all nice and set up. We had the bookmarks, my books, my prints. It was excellent. It was looking so good. I had so much fun like putting the bookmarks up, and then my aunt kind of got really into it, and she was moving them around and being like, oh, what if we put these over here and these over here? So it was fun just experimenting and setting everything up. We took a little bit longer than I expected to set up, but we did finally get it all nice and set up, and I loved how good my booth looked. It looked so cute, but I was like, well, now I need a backing that looks more the vibe of my booth than this gray one, so that's something to look to in the future. Maybe also like a canopy cover that's a different color. There were people with a bunch of different colors there, and I was like, where did they find all these cool colors? Like, hello? Also, my dad suggested that I should make t-shirts and stuff that have like my business name on them. So the next time I go, I was wearing my like University of Maine Farmington creative writing shirt because I thought that was a good one of like creative writer. Some people were in really nice clothes. Other people had like their own like designs on them. So that will be definitely something to potentially look to in the future to do. Hi there.
Very unique bookmarks.
Thank you.
My wife probably over and buy a couple.
Excellent.
She's got the money. I don't. I'm broke.
So Saturday, the rain held off. It was supposed to be rainy in the afternoon. It held off. We got everything taken down. My dad came back here to take care of a few things. So it was just my aunt and I taking down. And we got everything down before the rain. It took us about an hour to take everything down, the two of us. But we were also not, like, rushing either. We're like, okay, here we go. Put this in here. Put this in here. We were one of, like, the last people to leave. But also, when some people it's just one table and a box of books, that's pretty easy. I had 4 totes, 2 tables, a sign, my big bookmark board, and a bunch of boxes of stuff. Like, it was a lot. It definitely made me think of what I should do in the future, potentially. But I think it was a good learning experience, and it went well. And then her and I went to dinner, and I meant to record a video kind of like this after, of just, like, day of experience. But I was also having, like, a medical event throughout the entire day. I'm not going to go into the details of it. I am okay. I am fine. Like, I didn't have to go to urgent care or anything. My body was just doing things that it shouldn't be doing. And it was a little, I don't want to say concerning because I kind of know why it was happening, but this has never really happened to me before. And so for it to be happening during a book event, I honestly was probably on my phone way too much than I should be. I know that's one of the big things people say is, like, don't be on your phone. Try and, like, do something at your booth. And there was a few times that I was on my phone quite a bit because I was a little panicky, not gonna lie. Because of what was happening, my aunt did leave for a little bit to go get me some stuff and come back. And so then I was alone dealing with this thing, stressed about this thing, and also the anxiety and agoraphobia around doing this new event. So it was a little stressful, and by the time I got back to my aunt's house, we got to dinner, and then I went and I had to pick up a prescription. Anyway, I was supposed to pick it up the day before, but I was like, not a big deal. I don't need it immediately. I need it for Sunday. Like, there's no rush, right? And then I had to go to Walmart and pick up a few things. And then I went back to her house. So by the time I got back there, I was sore. I was tired. I was just burnt out from just everything going on. And took a shower, cuddled up on the couch, had some cake, and just was like, I'll deal with it tomorrow. We'll do like a video wrapping everything up tomorrow. Sunday never happened. Late Saturday night, I don't want to say late. I say late because it was dark because it was all cloudy and stuff. I think it was like 7 o'clock. We got a message, an email that Sunday was canceled because it was supposed to be pouring rain all day. A little bit of me was relieved because this medical thing that I said, I was like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with it again if it's still going to continue. And then the rest of me was really, really sad because I was actually really enjoying this, for one. And two, I didn't get to go see any of the other vendors. I think I saw like 3 or 4, like I went to a couple at the very end, but I went so late that everyone was packing up. So my aunt was kind of watching my booth, which was good because no one came by because everyone's packing up, it's ending. But also, everyone's packing up, it's ending. So I didn't get to see hardly anybody, and I was really sad because this was the first time I went that I actually had a decent budget to play with to be able to buy books from these other authors. And it's the one that I didn't get to, like, see hardly any of them. So I was so sad for that, and also I had so much fun, and I got to talk to so many people that I was like, no, why? I mean, I get it. Like, I think it was the best decision also because the next day it was pouring rain all day. So I 100% agree with the decision. It was just sad that it was not happening. So for the wrap up, this is our little wrap-up segment of how well we did. And then I'm going to also tell you kind of like the things that I didn't really like. I don't want to say didn't like, just like things that could be improved on or didn't go as planned, I guess. And then the things that went really well. I think that makes sense. First off, some stats. 171 people came to the booth and checked it out. And this is like they came under my canopy, were checking things, but also standing there and looking. Like, they might not have come under the canopy, but they stopped and fully, like, physically looked at everything in the booth. We counted those people because they weren't just, like, walking by, eyed it, and kept going. It was they full stopped, looked at everything, kept going. And so we counted those because they actively were looking at everything. I sold a total of 31 bookmarks at the event, which was awesome. Most of everything came from there. I sold 3 Reignite Me and 3 of the gift, which was kind of one of my, like, things, which I'll get into that in a minute. But the gift, I did have a person who owned a bookstore come to me and talk about potentially discussing wholesale and whatnot down the line of putting this book in her store and even doing a signing. And I was like, what? So I'm going to have to contact her this week, reach out and discuss, because I am still obviously learning wholesale and things because I have not done that before. This is, like I said, I'm really bad at marketing myself. I probably would do better being trad published than trying to figure out everything myself, but here we are. We're figuring it out ourselves. It's how we do things, right? So I'll probably message her and talk to her about this week and potentially get that in the store and potentially even do a signing. Like, what? Who am I? So she took a book and she read it and she actually posted it on her Instagram. So I had shared it of like, thank you for reading my book, etc. I did not sell any prints, which I kind of didn't expect. I thought maybe at least one of the foxes would sell. I did have people talk to me about it, and I had a couple photographers talk to me about where I found the animals and whatnot, and they were like, do you have a big long lens? And for like the fox, I was like, no, the fox one, I just got lucky and actually had to chase him away because he was a baby and he was just curious, but we aren't doing rabies out here. And she kind of thought that was funny. So I'm like, good, I'm making people laugh at least. There were quite a few people that did ask questions. Even if they didn't buy anything, they did ask things. There was a couple people interested in my coming soon books, especially like the dark survival one. I had a couple people asking a couple things about that, which was pretty nice. So for a 5-hour period, I think that's pretty good. I made about $370 something, which was awesome. I am so happy with that. I definitely paid the vendor fee back. I did not pay off all of the expenses to get there, but I'm also trying to look at it as I've never done anything like this before. I had to buy a tent. I had to buy tables. I had to buy the square reader. I had to do, buy the books. I got 50 of each book. That's $500 and something that I spent just on books. But while I didn't sell a whole lot, now I have them. So technically I'm already ready for the next event. The next events that come around, I might have to just buy a few more things for bookmarks and the vendor fee. So my expenses for the next event might be only like $150 versus, we're not going to go into what exactly I spent on everything, but I just told you 500 and something just for the books. So I also have to keep that in mind, that I've also essentially just made expenses for my next year of events. So even though I didn't balance out all of the expenses, I paid the vendor fee, which was awesome, which was fantastic. So for me, the things I really liked, this event is fantastic. She does such a great job. Maddie is the organizer. She does an amazing job at organizing everything, keeping everything running smoothly. This is such a fantastic event. She does fantastic. A round of applause for Maddie. Holy shit, I don't think I could do half of what she did. Maybe, but we're not going to try it because my luck, it would go burning down in flames. But she's been running this event for a couple of years now. Next year, there are going to be multiple events of this, which I'm hoping to make all of them, because that would be awesome to be able to get back out there and do things from a visiting person side. I've visited the past 2 years and it was fantastic both times. So absolutely amazing event. 100% recommend. If people want to travel for a book event, I'd say 100% come to this event because it is amazing. There were people from other states there doing this event. Absolutely do it. The staff that came all around were very friendly. They are there to babysit your booth if it's just you. Sometimes if you have to go to the bathroom real quick, if they come around, you can be like, hey, help. And they actually had a little sheet that was how to list everything. So if they had to watch your booth for a few minutes while you went to the bathroom, they could. I had a couple of them actually offer, when my aunt wasn't sitting with me, they came over and were like, hey, do you need a break? We can cover you. And I was like, oh, I'm good. Thank you so much. My aunt's actually with me today. She's just currently not here. And they're like, oh, fantastic. Well, just let us know if you need anything. So all of them were great and fantastic. Going forward, I think for me, I need to figure out how to market and sell my books better, because if I hadn't have brought the bookmarks, I would not have made my fee back. And that's a little discouraging knowing that my books didn't do it. It was the bookmarks, because I want to be a full-time author. For me, I think I need to figure out how to market them, potentially talk with people, get them in stores and stuff. But also just figure out what I'm doing wrong. I know my booth setup was great because a lot of people came in and told me how amazing my booth looked. And they're like, oh, we saw your thing from across the field and we had to come look because it looked so good. There was a couple of people who were, I don't want to say professional vendors, but vendors that have been doing stuff for years, who came by and were you have a great setup, the different levels of everything. This is fantastic, especially for a first event. I'd be like, this is my first event ever. And they're like, what? They're like, you know what you're doing right out the gate, it seems like. So that was a really, nice compliment when they'd say that, of, I'm already on top of things booth-wise, just now to get people to read my book-wise. So that was, the discouraging part, was just to know that my books did not make enough that I even would have broken even with the vendor fee. So I'm hoping that by next year I have another book out that potentially draws more interest. I was sitting there, I'm like, dang, maybe I need to wash away my name and be my pen name and put those out, because I feel like those would do a lot better, because romance was the top buy, I think, this year, which some people don't like romance at all. The girl next to me was a romance author, and some people would kind of look at her book and she'd be like, oh, do you like romance? And it was probably a good 30 to 40% of what I heard would be like, no, sorry. So there's definitely markets for other things. I just didn't hit those target markets. So that was a little discouraging. I'm not going to let it stop me from going to events in the future because who knows, maybe the next one I somehow hit the poetry readers and I sell 20 books. You know, you never know. Also, you know, there was supposed to be a second day on this. I could have hit the majority of the people who would be interested in what I have out there. But I think that's my biggest goal for the next times is to get my books more into people's hands, to potentially find the market for them, to maybe have my other books be more marketable. I think my dark survival that's set in Maine would do really good next year at these Maine events because it's so interesting. A lot of people actually ask questions about that. So I think I need to just expand. I think the people who had more books did better than the people who had one book. Although the girl next to me only had one book. It was her first book and she was flying. There was one point she was like, I don't think I have enough books for today. And I was like, hell yeah, girl, go. Get it. So now I gotta figure out how to make that happen for me. Overall, it was a really great experience. I do need to figure out how to get my book out there more. I am going to be relisting them on Etsy again, probably some point this week to do signed copies, send them out to people. I had done that previously, but then I pulled it down a few weeks, a couple months before the event. That way I didn't for some reason take off on the internet and everyone buy my stock that I needed for this, although I didn't clearly need that much. But anyway, this event was really great. I am so glad I did it. I am so glad I didn't let the agoraphobia and the anxiety win and tell me not to do it. I'm so glad I went. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I know I just rambled for a long period of time, but I hope you all enjoyed. My first ever book event. There would have been a lot less rambling if the second day hadn't been canceled. I literally had all this B-roll footage planned out and then I never got to take it. It was ugh. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog of my very first book event. It went really good, I think. I'm so happy with it and now I'm really motivated to maybe the next time sell at least 5 of one of my books. So, I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!